I'm not trying to be cool. This finger's not closing properly. So don't want anybody to think I'm that guy.
Everybody do it like that.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This past weekend, I was able to attend a team training session in Gatineau, Quebec. And the Team Evolution is the jiu-jitsu team that I'm affiliated with. We learned some really cool Kimura stuff, some cool berimbolo techniques, and then at the end, I got promoted to black belt. So I hope you enjoy the video, and if you learned something, please comment below, like, subscribe, share, all that stuff. All right. Thank you guys. Have a great day.
More attacks and how to counter counters. So I'd like to start off with some principles. Chris, are you in this group?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So please come on around. Pretend we like each other. Okay. So just a couple of things about Kimura. One, I'm just going to use the Kimura as an example. Anytime I want to control him from here, ideally I want to try and keep his elbow and his shoulders aligned, and I want to keep his hand lower than his elbow. Does that make sense? If I can get his hand behind his back from every Kimura, his arm is really weak and I have a position to break. If I'm in side control, the floor is stopping me from breaking because I can't get the arm to go back any lower on this angle. Does that make sense? So to counter any of the Kimuras, what I need to do is I need to start taking some of this stuff away. So if he puts me, we'll start with side control. And these principles work for almost every position. So if he has me in a Kimura here, right now, my hand is lower than my elbow, and my arm is my elbow's at 90 degrees pretty much. So I'm trying to get my elbow in here, and I'm going to swing my leg, and I'm going to walk my fingers up onto my leg. So now my hand is higher than my elbow. All of the pressure has pretty much been relieved. Does that make sense? Yes. Now, ideally, what I want to do is I want to hand this hand to this bicep. My arm's not going to be strong enough to do it, but my whole body and my leg will be. So I'm holding his elbow in place. I'm going to swing this leg, and I'm trying to come inside to grab. When I do it with momentum, if he doesn't let go, his wrist is pretty much in danger. I don't know how that felt. So again, we're starting here. Ideally, I want to get this elbow in place just so he doesn't change his body angle. And I'm going to try and swing my leg and try and climb up to get it. So even if he's holding me strong, I should be able to climb up either my hip or get to my leg. And as long as my hand's higher trying to apply something from here, I'm stronger than he is. And when I swing my leg, I'm going to start to try and swing my whole body and my hips. And I'm going to use my elbow to try and move my head out to create space. Now that I'm on my side, I've got a space for this to come through. Sounds good? Really simple, right? And you're going to see this repeat over and over again. Shall we grab a partner and try it out? Good. 1, 2, 3. Ça va peut-être faire plus de bon sens. So encore, il contrôle à 90 degrés. He's holding it at 90 degrees. I want to try and get this elbow in, and I want to get to here. I'm relatively safe here. Je suis pas mal en sécurité ici. Mais maintenant, il faut que je crée de l'espace. I have to create space. So I'm going to shrimp, turning onto my other shoulder. Je fais une crevette pour créer de l'espace. My body is now a frame that's holding him up, creating a huge space underneath. My arm's too weak. As I swing my leg and my body, I'm going to try and come and grab this arm. So right now I'm holding roughly at my elbow, but I'm still holding him back. I need to break the grip. Keep holding on if you can, unless it hurts your wrist.
No, it's fine.
I'm going to start by shrimping my hips back and then my shoulders. So it's not an explosive movement. My hips go back and then my shoulders. If I don't hold on to him, he's just going to come with me. So I have to try and hold his hip in place as I move my upper body back just to break this grip. If you do this too explosively, if you notice the person's in pain, it's because they can't let go and you're hurting their wrists. So if you see an agonizing look or like a small scream, just stop. Good. And when you're swinging, please just be careful not to kick anybody in the head. So can I give you guys another 5 minutes on this? Yeah. 1, 2, 3. It'd be even better for him if he's able to get my hand down. If I'm proactive and I'm able to do this, my job is going to be a lot easier. If my hand is down here, I'm going to have to work to get it back up. Does that make sense? Yes. Okay. I want to get this elbow through the hole. I can't do that if my arm is bent. So one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that my hand gets a lot higher than my elbow, which is already there because it's on my body, but I'm going to bring it up even higher. I want to bring the elbow through the hole, but on this angle I can't do that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to walk my hips towards him. His elbow's now over my chest, so now I can switch and do it on him. So now he's here, he's going to push his hand up. Good. He's going to walk his hips towards me. My elbow's now in his chest, so now he's going to kind of, exactly. And don't just use your arm strength, guys. Let go. Don't just use your arm strength. When you're bringing the elbow down, shift your weight. There's always that one guy who's strong like 2 bears. Okay, so again, this is really, really simple. So again, if it's worst case scenario, we're going to do exactly what we did before. I'm going to come and try and grab my own leg. If I can't, I'm going to get my hip as close to it as I can, and I'm going to walk up my hip. If I need to get a little extra height, I just bring my leg up, and then I come and get my hand. I'm not trying to be cool. This finger's not closing properly. So don't want anybody to think I'm that guy.
Everybody do it like that.
Yeah. So I grab my own hand, hold my arm down. I grab my own hand. He can't stop me from doing this. So I'm bringing this up, and as I walk towards him, I'm bringing the elbow through the hole, and I'm resting his elbow on my chest, which is allowing me. And when I'm coming in, I'm just doing a praying mantis. So I don't have to grab, I'm just doing a praying mantis. He pushes up, he walks towards me. Yeah, if possible, again with strong guys, make sure that the elbow rests on your chest. And then slide your elbow into the hole. One last principle is let go. For me to be strong in Kimura, I mentioned earlier about the elbow being here. It's basically about the open elbow. So he wants my elbow to be open away from my body, and he wants his elbow back here. So whenever possible, it doesn't matter who has the Kimura grip. If he has the Kimura grip on me and his elbow is open and mine is closed, he's going to feel pressure on his shoulder. So I had trouble explaining this in the past. It used to be like, okay, just change your angle, and when the pain's gone on you, he'll feel it. It took me, I'm not the brightest guy in the world. It took me a while to figure out how to put this in words. So basically, if the elbow's open, whoever has the Kimura, if I can keep his elbow open and my elbow closed, I'm stronger and the pressure should be on his shoulder. So right now when we're fighting this, I'll get him to do it. Right now his elbow's open. Go. His elbow's still open. He's trying to bring the elbow to the ground beside his body. Now my elbow is open, his is closed. Does that make sense? And in every technique that we're going to do, it's going to be those things. He wants to have the hand lower than the elbow, I want it higher. He wants my elbow open, I want my elbow closed, and so on and so forth. So everything that we do with Kimura, if it's not working, it's usually one of those things. Good? 1, 2, 3. Turning onto your side, which is a problem. So right now, if you notice, Chris's elbow's on the floor, he can't get his chest underneath. When he pushes the hands up, you'll see the elevated elbow. He's not going to be on his side, he's going to stay on his back as he rotates. Now the elbow's stuck here. But now he's too close to bring the elbow down. So he's going to do a shrimp in that direction with both the hip and the shoulder. So shrimp, hip, shoulder, and then all your weight drops as close to your body as possible. Especially when we're doing the armbar escapes, always as close to your body as possible. We're not doing Japanese Jiu-Jitsu where we're hitting the balls. Okay? Okay. Nutcracker is only for Christmas. Any questions on this? I've noticed a lot of you when you're moving over, you're sideways, and you can't very well put his elbow in your chest. When the chest is like this, it's just going to slide down. So I walk underneath for there to be a platform to set the elbow on, and the elbow, I have to raise the hand high enough to lift his elbow to get under his elbow. So if you're not, well, unless your chest is out to here, and your arms are this long, you should be able to do this. We all have weird body types. If you have that body type, I'll have to figure out something different for you. Sounds good? You guys want to practice this a little bit more? Good. When stuck on the person's bicep, which means you need to rotate more so that you've cleared the bicep. Sorry, I'll come back to you guys in 2 seconds. I could keep going on with different common positions, that are, especially the ones that are happening today. But is anybody getting caught in a specific Kimura right now that maybe I can help you guys with directly? Other than don't let him grab your arm? Yes, sir.
It's a half guard pass.
Half guard pass?
Yeah.
And you're getting caught in the Kimura from there?
Yes.
Okay, it's pretty much the same thing as the one from side control. Who's doing it to you? Is he here?
Where are you?
Can I borrow your big guy? Okay. I got you to go on my arm that still works.
Half guard.
He's on the bottom.
I'm on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm passing half guard and he's grabbing my arm?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give him my good arm. At least it makes it an even fight. He's a little bit bigger than I am. So is it this one you're grabbing or this one? Okay.
It'll be this one.
Okay, good. Okay, so this is a really, really common thing. If I allow him to put this arm behind my back, I'm done.
Yeah.
So ideally, first thing I need to do is I need to bring my leg over to buy myself some time. I'll just stop for a second just so they can see. So essentially what I want to do is his hand is here like this. This is kind of remnant of Japanese Jiu-Jitsu. Is I'm trying to do this. So when he grabs on here and I get my leg into position, I'm going to focus on changing the angle of his elbow to bring his elbow on a 45 out this way. The whole idea is to cross-face him with the ground. So he's here like this. I step my leg over. Keep going. Go for a finish.
So this is what I normally do, is I'll pull out.
Okay. So I'm going to start trying to drop the weight here like this. And I'm walking on this angle. And I'm starting to apply pressure just to get him to let go. Sounds good? So essentially what I'm doing is I'm just doing this. So in the past I used to teach it where I would just grab my own arm. I'm controlling his hip. And I would use my legs to break it out and get a possible sub here. Or I would do the Marcelo Garcia one where I would grab onto his collar and drive his elbow this way and then drive everything into his face and then come up and take his back. And then people got a lot better at Kimura and defending my counters. So I started combining the two together. So I just started coming up, grabbing here, and then start coming in, and now he has no arm there. Now he has no arm here. And it's like, why did you attack me? So it's good. So it's based on the same. Yeah. So you're basically kind of going to a keiza like this, and you can do that from here as well, just without the leg. Where I'm grabbing my own, I'm coming in, and I'm throwing my leg over top, and then I'm just working to bring the arm out. I don't have a control for the finish. But I can keep his arm with me most of the time. Most of the time. Not all the time. It's just a bonus. Whenever you can add insult to injury, it's always good. Good. Is that clear or is it too quick?
That's really good.
It's good. Do you guys want to give that a shot? Yes. 1, 2, 3. That thing? Yes, sir. And mount? Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot. Let's figure this out together. Come on over. Doing it from here. Yeah. So from here, if you're going Americana, I think one of the things that I would do is I'd like the V hand in here, and then start changing the angle. And then try not to go into. But I mean, it's just going to depend on, like, lock it on strong. So here I'm in trouble. I'm going to start to straighten my arm, and I'm trying to bring you up. So now that my elbow's out, I'm going to try and get my hips inside, and then if possible try and start something from here. My foot's supposed to be here, but we both don't have a lot of real estate.
Nice.
Sounds good. But I don't know that I would necessarily teach that one. Like, ideally, don't let him have your arm. Or come back up. Maybe a simple one from here is save yourself from the sub, but give him a little bit more control. So try and apply it.
No. How about when people teach putting weight on the elbow? Or hip bumping when somebody has you fully locked?
Okay, I wasn't expecting any Americana stuff.
Oh, okay, so
No, it's just, it seems the same, but the angles are very different. So I was just hoping to stick on this because I'm not, like I've been doing Kimuras since the loss of, partial loss of my right arm, which has been probably close to 20 years. So I have a pre-programmed defense that I can't necessarily teach. I'll do it once, I'll check out what I do, and then I'll try and show you guys what I do, because my body's smarter than my brain. There is one more that I'd like to show that I find pretty cool, and it's based on the same principles. Who's got caught in Kimura from north-south before? Good. Can I borrow you again, Professor? Sorry, this is overkill, guys, but again, it's the principles are all the same, right? So we're in north-south, if you can attack this arm. So he brings his knee over, he starts turning me up onto my side, so I'm going to grab my hip. When he goes to yank my arm out,
Yeah.
so right now, my own body weight is fighting against me. So what I want to do is I want to lift, so as he lifts my arm, I want to bring my hip up. So he can't pull my hand behind because my hip is coming up with him and I'm not fighting my own body weight. So as he lifts, and he's going to lift harder because he's going to get frustrated, and then I'm going to go with it. So he lifts, and I'm coming out, and ideally trying to set up, he moves really well, and I think he knows me too well. We've been training together since you're, what, 14?
yeah.
Okay, so as he lifts, I'm trying to come up, I'm trying to turn my head out, and if possible, come up with his arm. So usually when he lifts, he's really good at removing space and countering everything I do. Usually when he lifts, if I can do the knee.
Yep.
Grab your own hip, lift your hip up.
Yep.
So usually when I lift, I've created a space for him to get his head out. And then as he postures, this becomes a bit of an issue for me. So it's a really deceiving one. Again, for all of these escapes, don't ever let somebody put you into Kimura to submit them with their own Kimura. Get good at this after you've gotten caught. Does that make sense? Like, you don't start 2 steps behind to try and get 2 steps ahead. So first step is don't let him have your arms. Good. So we're not going to practice this. I just wanted to throw that one in because it was on the list of 3 things I wanted to show today, and we had some good questions. So that's pretty much it. You guys, what's that?
There's 6 minutes left.
6 minutes left?
Yeah. Practice it.
You guys want to try this one out?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll do it again real slow. So again, we're in this situation. However you guys end up doing it, I pull his arm, I get over top, I grab the Kimura, I pull him up on his side, he goes here. So just use this, like, let me keep this over top.
Oh, yeah.
So use this foot on the floor to lift your hip, so this will be the first step. Good, and you see how he's already turned? Now just pull your head out. Now this is the scary part. So sometimes your hand gets stuck here when he starts to posture up. So if it's starting to hurt, just kind of like, ah! And then he'll stop applying it, hopefully. So he starts to posture up. I was able to let go, great. And now, will you get the sub? Probably not. Whoa. We get the knee to the face, probably.
Just glancing, just glancing.
Sounds good? So one last time.
When you, yeah, hang on.
Okay, so we're in here. I come inside. I bring him up. I start to lift. He turns. He pulls his arm out. And he knocked me off balance, which is another little detail to add. Go back. So his arm kind of got stuck a little bit here. But as he came up, he was pushing me over a little bit, which means I had to let go of the Kimura or fall with it. And now there's even more space for his head to come up. And my arm is a gift. So just tighten the whole loop up and then come up.
One thing from here, you notice I stop and I go up slow. We're training, just try and do that to your partner as well.
And you might not get the finish, but you have access to my back.
Yeah.
Good, so if you guys want to give that a shot, give it a shot. And please, again, in rolling, don't give the Kimura to practice this, especially in a tournament. Say friggin' Professor Dan. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Actually, it's a position made by accident by Marcel Pierre. He didn't really name it because he just tend to land in that certain spot when he does his helicopter sweep. It was not until 2003 where Samuel Braga deliberately put himself into that spot and tried to land it. Then fast forward 2007, it was Rafael Mendez who developed a game, won a couple of championships, just berimbolo. And then post 2010, so you have the Miao brothers, you have the Musumetsi, you have a lot, Levi Jones, all world champions, and they get into that spot and try to win, right? Basically, berimbolo is, how do I get there? When his butt is on the floor, this is the best time for me to actually get into a berimbolo. May it be I put him in there, or we deliberately got in there. So how you put him in there, stand up. We have, if you happen to at the reverse De La Riva sweep, I managed to get a tripod, butt on the floor. Stand up. De La Riva sweep, a kick, butt on the floor. Old school Marcelo, the dummy sweep, butt on the floor. I'm in a close guard, and I can't win the close guard. He's in a vertical posture. I managed to do a knee torque sweep, butt on the floor. As soon as the butt is on the floor, that is the perfect time for me to get into my spot, the berimbolo spot. Under sports rules, it can happen where I didn't do anything. It just happened where we slap, bump, and then the referee yells, combate. And all I need is this little piece of fabric, and then we both sit down. It happened in a lot of competition nowadays, right?
Especially at that weight class.
Yeah. So, what do we do when we
Not
get into...
sentence.
Once we get into this spot, I want you guys to remember that I really want to isolate one limb, mainly this leg right here. So how do I do that? I will find the toe line, I will grab the toe line and try to plant or flex it to the floor. I won't grab the foot right here because if me grabbing the foot, resist something, I just can't. But if I grab the toe line, resist something, he can. So step number 1, plantar flex. Step number 2, I sit on the foot. Make it a little bit heavy. Now I'm going to use an outside hook using my De La Riva hook to turn his knee in. That's my step number 3. Step number 4, I'm going to put my outside leg on top of the leg, or you can put it outside. Whatever you do, you don't just put it on the armpit side because that's a whole new nuances of the game. We're going to be troubleshooting footlocks instead of playing berimbolo. So again, step number 1, plantar flex. Step number 2, sit on the foot. Step number 3, outside De La Riva hooks. 4, I turn the knee in. And then I reinforce the weight. My foot might be in here or in this spot. It doesn't matter. The knee is already in. So let's practice that doing both sides because you can't just tell your opponent in the competition or in the gym like, can you go this side because I'm not really strong this side. So we take what life gives us. If this is the opportunity is right in this spot, plantar flex, sit on it, outside hook, turn the knee in, and then we get on that spot. Above the knee line, please, not the knee line here. Because if this one is the knee line, we're going to be troubleshooting leg drags and all that stuff. But if it's on top, reinforced, weighted leg, dead leg. So let's do that for 2 minutes. Just practice on entry, left and right. 1, 2, 3. Leg, turn the knee in. Now, it doesn't really matter. A lot of people ask question, will it matter whether I put it on top or I put it in here? Me being the small guy that I am, I like to put the legs on top to reinforce the weight. But if you're a big guy, it doesn't really matter. Just as long as you keep it outside, don't put it on the armpit, because like I told you, that's another nuances. We're going to be defending instead of attacking. Now, turning the knee in, you need to understand why I tend to do that. Not only that I took away power from his knee, but I've exposed certain key grips. This spot right here. We're going to practice cycling to different spot of the key grips. I can grab collar grip, good. I can grab the belt grip, better. I can grab the near side hip grip, best. So that's what we're gonna do for this second round. We're still gonna cycle to different type of grips. One of the many reasons is, if he tries to defend one, I'll take the other. If he tries to defend one, I'll take the other. Right? I'm not really gonna fight for something like, if you force something, probably your jiu-jitsu is not that good. So cycle to different types of key grips, because in the end of the day, once I capture my key grips, I'm gonna invert one way or the other. Alright, so again, step number 1, plantar flex. Step 2, reinforce weight. Step 3, turn knee in. Step 4, feet positioning. Outside, on top, doesn't matter. Then I grab my key grips, key grips, key grips. Still the same, other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do that for 2 minutes, then we're gonna move on how to actually get into an entry. 1, 2, 3. You have bad neck injuries, you're gonna get hurt. Other have already hurt it while doing it, but I think it has everything to do in how we was teach. I don't know about you guys, but 10 years ago, how I was teach to do an inversion is this. My hand behind my back, pressure on the shoulder, and I'll use my feet, and I roll. That's how I was taught to do inversion. Were you taught to do inversion like that? I don't know, right? So there's pressure on the neck for just doing this. See? Now there's certain new things that you can do to relieve pressure from your neck. You tuck your chin and your sternum and you put your shoulder out. Doing this creates this pillow-like motion in your neck, so there is no pressure. And watch this. As soon as I do that, tuck my chin, shoulder out, I will drop my elbow on the mat, and I roll. I can even rotate. There's no tension in my neck right now. Nothing. Nothing. Before, this is how we were taught. Yes, of course, there's tension. But if I rotate, keeping my chin tucked, shoulder out, there's a pillow in my neck, elbow support. Watch this. Is there pressure on my neck right now? I'm pummeling my feet, right? I'm landing to the other side. Basically, it's like that. So let's try that means of inversion. And then afterwards, for big guys, my brother is 170 pounds. I am 115. I'm competing in rooster weight and he's competing around lightweight.
He's short, so that's me.
Yeah, my brother is kind of like big. So he's still doing this on 170 pounds. So it means that what he's doing also works, you know. But let's try this. Because this one, if it hurts your neck, don't worry, I'll troubleshoot. There's one other entry for you as well.
Remember this stuff, like for this position,
Yeah.
like to be a bit simple.
Alright, so probably let's do this. Let's just do this 6 or 7 times. Again, tuck your chin, roll, one side. Tuck your chin on your elbow, roll, shoulder, other side. If you're able to do that, let's get to the entry right away. 1, 2, 3, 10 times. 10 times. Or that movement drill or skill that we perform. Plantar flex, sit on the foot, turn the knee in, pressure on top, pressure on side, it doesn't matter. I have key grips now. Now I'm gonna use my key grips. Let's say I'm gonna go for my collar grip, and watch this, I'm gonna tuck my chin on my shoulder, and I'm gonna drop my elbow on the mat. I didn't really feel any pressure on my neck there, right? Again, as usual, let's go other side, because when you're competing, please, I'm gonna do this side, because you know, I don't do that on the other side. So you need to be able to do both sides. So even if you're lousy on the other side, just start practicing. 1, turn, post. Now I'm gonna cycle to different type of key grips. Now I'm gonna use the belt grip. Still the same. Tuck my chin, pillow around my neck, drop my elbow. No pressure at all. So let's do that for maybe 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3. Grip is. What's important is we've created this turning out, turning in. So we have exposure right in this spot. And we have inversion right in this spot. You see? So as soon as I manage to turn in, see there's a big space in here. It's easy for me. Now I'm gonna teach you guys what my brother does. He is 3 times my size. that you don't have to injure your neck if you feel that there's still tension in your neck. One of the many reasons why I like to put your foot on top of this foot, because my brother do it in this kind of way. He gets up, he puts his knee or his shin right in that hip bone, and this top leg will just get on top. Now in this spot, I'm sitting on his knee. The knee is still turned in. And it requires zero inversion. Why? As I'm looking that way, I'm just gonna look towards his feet. Shoulder roll. Where am I right now? I'm still in this spot. And I didn't do any inversion at all. There's no neck pressure there. Again, my brother does this in the same way. Turn my knee in, but it's kind of big. I step on the thigh. I pull him in. Taking this drill, take one for the team. I get my shin on the hip bone. Boom! I'm here. I'm sitting on the knee. Try to get out, Santi. This is retention right here. Now when I'm ready to pick my spot, from looking that way, I'm just gonna turn my shoulder like a shoulder roll. I'm guessing that people don't have problem doing shoulder roll, right? Looking from that side to this foot. Capture, roll. No inversion, no stress on my neck. So big guys, you can do the big guys variation. Small guys, you can continue to the soft pillow thingy that we did. Alright, 1, 2, 3. We do the berimbolo. Remember when I told you that before they just landed by mistake until someone put themselves deliberately in that position. So what is the position of berimbolo? Basically, I've made my inversion, whatever form of inversion that you did, right? As soon as I get in this spot, this is why most people fail now, because they don't have structure. Just like any other guard, you have to have structure. You have to have control. Without control, you can't sweep. Without control, you can't submit. I need to be able to stay in this spot with him not able to do nothing. So first things first, what we need to monitor. My knee line. My knee line has to be behind his knee line. Beating down, and then my hand is pulling down. See? There's a counter pressure right now. You get that? Because if this one, he can just clear this easy, push my leg, oh no. But if I'm in this spot right now, beating down on the leg and pulling counter pressure, try. And remember, just like any other guard, if we can stay there, we can do something about it. It doesn't really make a lot of difference than what we do around close guard. If I have a tight wedge around his waist, if he tries to stand up, I pull. Right? And that clamp has any better from the clamp guard will I put my knee line still the same, beating down to break his posture. Try to get up, posture broken. It's not different from the armbar jujikadami that we do, that I face my foot towards that way to really break his posture. Posture up, right? So I keep it down. Omoplata remains the same. My knee line beating down. Here, over there, it depends on where you learn it, but still the same. The purpose of the knee line is to beat it down to keep him staying there. So again, plantar flex, turn, 1, 2. I'm changing grips now so you can see. See, as soon as I get in this spot, my entire goal, this is where I'm controlling this leg, beating down on the posterior part of his knee. Try, move. There you go. And I want you to build a habit too. I want you to place this outside foot on his armpit. And I will explain to you later why. So get on that spot and get a knee line beat down, put the forearm leg on the armpit, and then get a feedback. Can you move? You're hanging tight. You're in your koala position now. Let's do that. 1, 2, 3. It's called retention. Just like when you're in guard retention, just like this, when you're in this position, there are maneuvers that you can use to stay there as a retention. If you stick to the structure, you are not going to have a hard time. Otherwise, the other nuances, don't worry about that. If I have an opportunity, we'll learn about that. But this is fundamental structure. Again, I get in this spot, I turn the knee in, exposes key grips, whatever key grips that I want. This time around, I'm going to do the big man roll. Right? As soon as I get into the spot, I'm beating down on the knee, I'm pulling this one, and my leg is in his armpit. Why am I doing this? As soon as I feel that I was a little bit 1/2 step too late, he backs away. Get back here. Backs away. Get back here. Let's say he's bigger like Julian. He backs away. He's really strong. Backs away some more. Backs away some more. Do you get my point? You're not going anywhere until we find that spot. Alright? So practice pulling away and practice pulling him onto you. If he moves away, try pulling. If he's too heavy and he's big, then latch onto him. Right? Yeah. Guys, this will only work if you're gonna be a good training partner. When you're on top, Double hand pose, pull away, pull away. Let him pull you or pull him with you. 1, 2, 3. We have the inversion. We're in the perfect spot where we can control. It's time to start exploiting the position. Now, remember this. When you're doing an inversion, it depends upon the momentum that you produce. And most probably, I will teach you today, the most common reaction that I always get. If you do your inversion, there's 3 possible reactions common that they do. They land on their elbow, they land to troubleshoot, or they land far side. This one less likely. But most of the time when I invert, they always land here. They try to do a double hand post, and then scoot away. All men are hardwired to recover balance. If you knock them off their back, that's good. But under competitive role, or maybe just, people are kind of giving you a hard time, you're gonna want to recover balance. This one, the double hand post, and they scoot away, that's the reaction of a guy who doesn't want none of that. I don't want none of that. I want to get away as much as possible, stand up on my feet, and pass your guard, basically. But if I know my retention, I can still exploit the position. So again, we're going to start with first common reaction. Plantar flex, turn the knee in, knee on top. This time around, I'm going to do a hip grip. As soon as I make my inversion, watch this. His weight goes at the back. One elbow at the back. There you go. As soon as I hit this spot right here, go back, he can't go back because he's on one elbow. I'm beating down this position. I don't have to worry. My foot is on the far side armpit. All I need to do is place this and let go of this hand and place this knee on top of my knee and then open palm, lift the feet in here. Using my foot on the armpit and my knee on the hip, it will create counter pressure. I can even lift him with just one hand. Lift him with just one hand on my shoulder. Lift him with just one hand on my shoulder. As I decide to finish, I'm going to use a hand assist. Lift him, push, to take it back. Again.
I don't think he can lift with one hand. He can do reps.
So the specific reaction that I need from the top is to get on one elbow. Let's say that I did my inversion so good that I got this reaction. Again, I'm in this spot. This time around, I'm going to do the big man berimbolo. He landed on his elbow. There you go. As soon as I get here, anchor my armpit, use my hip, let go. On top, lift, push. That's it. I'm going to do it. Let's do it slow. I'm going to cycle to different grips and different entry. 1, 2. I'm going to use a belt grip. Tuck. I'm still in this spot. One elbow. Lift. On the feet. Post. Push. Take the back. Yeah. And make sure that your shoulder is close to the hips, because when you lift, it's easy to put the butt on the shoulder. And once the butt is in the shoulder, it's an easy back take. I can stay here. It can maintain one weight, one hand. Can't stay there forever. Push. 1, 2, 3.